started to shift a little bit, like around what's this, like 2012, 2013, 2014, around that time. So just seeing how the kids was like, they ain't had no morals. They cursing at the coaches. They just being real disrespectful, and it just popped in my head there, like, damn, I want to do something, for those type of kids that be just hot heads, that be angry all the time. So I try to put together like a program inside of Frankfurt High School. It was going to be like an after school program for the kids that get suspended, expelled, the trouble kids. I wanted to, have like guest speakers come in, talk to them, hook them up with jobs, or just help them with workshops and stuff, teach them something. So that didn't turn out too good. Frankfurt turned me down at the time when I put the proposal together. So I just did it from the muscle. I found like a little the Boys and Girls Club. They let me, get a classroom.
Frankfurt Boys Club?
Yeah, Frankfurt Boys and Girls Club let me get a classroom in there, and I started with like, I think it was like 5 to 7 kids we started with from off the football team, and then it just grew. It just grew from there, and I just like turned it into a brand, and that was like with me, everything that I'm doing now. That was like the foundation to start.
How many years ago was that?
I want to say between 5 to 6 years ago.
So you got some real good growth coming from that.
For sure, yeah. And the vision was just like, let's show these kids different people from different walks of life that come from the same neighborhoods that they can relate to, and they can share their story. That was like the first main part of it. And the second part was just keeping them busy, keeping them off the streets. They can come here, eat, we feed them dinner. We talk about life problems, or we just have some fun games and, do different things. And the other part of Power Circle was just the movement part of putting together events, either once or twice a month, collaborating with like the Block Gives Back, collaborating with all type of entrepreneurs. I started that in 2014 because I used to work for nonprofits. So it was just like, I wanted this around the time Philadelphia entrepreneurship was like at its peak. Like a lot of people start, doing their own thing, clothing brands or anything you could think of. A lot of entrepreneurs was starting to open up in Philadelphia. So I wanted to try to, give the new entrepreneurs opportunity to come give back in events and network with the people, because these the people in the neighborhood that support these entrepreneurs. So my first ever event was, I think I did a turkey drive. I did one down North Philly. Meek Mills was there. I just volunteered, helped out, and then I did my own down like Huntington Park. So once I started planning them, I'm like, all right, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Damn. So you guys, what I know, kind of trying to be a positive influence and shit around a lot of people who are not so positive all the time. You ever get turned down, or people try to clown you, or?
To be honest, I don't know. I really don't pay attention to a lot of stuff. Like I be like in my own world, so I be zoned out. But people definitely try to like reel you back in, try to convince you to get back into the street stuff or invest in street stuff, or just, I don't know. But I feel like right now I'm at the point like I really don't pay that no mind. But people definitely try to discourage you, and not too much clowning though. But a lot of people like respect what I do, so I don't think they too much like clown me for what I do. But
yeah. Was there in the beginning, because you said you was about 5 years ago, you got turned down by Frankfurt. What kept you trying to continue to make a difference and reach out to other things? And was there ever a point where you wanted to be like, where you just basically said, it's not worth the headache?
I really was just going with the flow. So once I had like something in my head, even when I was in the streets, like if I'm hustling or whatever, once I got like something I'm dedicated to, it's like I'm blocking everything out. Yeah, I'm super focused on it, and it was a lot of obstacles though that discouraged me. Like even conflict with my the job I was working for, the nonprofit I was working for, that introduced me for real to this type of work. It was just conflict with that, and just like you said, just still being attached to the streets. Not physically doing anything in the streets, but just being around.
Having those ties to the people.
Right, having those ties to those people, and just being able to like trying to balance out everything. So, but still to this day, I don't realize like what I do. I be like, people would be like, you doing good. I still don't like believe that I do this type of work. Like I never had this in my head. Like I'm gonna be doing this type of work. Like this is what I want to do. So
it's kind of surreal.
Yeah, it's still surreal to me.
Is there a name for what you're doing? Like is like your group?
Yeah, it's called Power Circle Mentors. The whole movement is just Power Circle, and it's a 501c3 nonprofit. We started 2015.
Nice. I know a lot of people start their nonprofits, and it takes a lot of funding, like a lot of fundraisers, a lot of paperwork and stuff like that.
In fact,
who are some of the people? I mean, I know you said you worked for a nonprofit. Is that how you got involved with learning how to get the paperwork done and all those things?
Absolutely. It was just like self-educating myself, just being around, different people. So it's true what they say, like the people you hang around, you start to like pick up the same type of skills and stuff. So it was just learning, being in the field, putting together events, and just connecting and networking. It was a lot of networking with people.
Well, what were some of the most difficult things you found yourself having trouble with when either in the beginning or even today? Some hurdles that you guys still see or
right. I think the biggest hurdles is having the attention of the youth and not being able to really fulfill your vision right away, because it's like with me, it's like I want to get this done now because there's people out here dying, kids out here losing their life, or I know he want a job, but he just don't got the right guidance. So it was just about trying to find the right resources to match right away, because like I said, with nonprofit, it's time and you need a lot of funding to be able to, get what's done. So just trying to get it done through the muscle. That was like the hardest, like doing everything from the muscle.
And it's got to be hard getting those kids out of that mindset and that, change that mindset from
right.
Because it's easy to not have a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? It's easy to not have a 9 to 5 and just do whatever you want to do when you wake up, but there's no actual longevity in that. Not always, anyway. So teaching those kids those principles. What are some of the events you have throughout the year? Before COVID and all that.
So we have the back to school drive annually. We do the free haircuts, free hairdos. We have an annually cleanup that we do, most likely in Frankfurt. We got the Thanksgiving feast. We just feed like random people, whoever want to come eat. Y'all can come in, sit down and eat, or you can grab a plate and go. Kids, parents, whoever. We used to do kind of like a toy drive, but now we kind of focus on like a coat drive. So we do a winter drive, all bunch of winter gear, anything you could think of for kids. And what is one? It's a couple more annually ones. We have a 5K run that we used to do. Right now we can't do it because of COVID.
Yeah.
And it was one more we do that's annually. Well, we got the class. We do the class when school start every Tuesday. We meet up every Tuesday. And we got it's called Stop the Violence. It's a new thing we started last year. It's a concert, Stop the Violence, anti-drug, anti-violence concert that we just go to school and have different artists come in and perform for the kids and then talk about
local artists.
Yeah, local artists. Anti-bullying. Anti-bullying, anti-violence. So we go in there and talk about bullying and talk about violence and stuff in different schools. So it was supposed to be big this year. How everything going with the schools? Is up in the air right now. But
what are some of the things you guys had to do because of COVID? As far as because you got to cancel events. Are you like the block? The block usually has events throughout the whole year, but because of COVID, everything is now it's Saturdays. They just feed the block. Right. Cool.
Yeah. It's right now. We got like events that we want to just do, so we about to just do it regardless.
Yeah.
I feel like they want to shut us down.
We're just keep waiting. Everything keeps getting pushed down and
like all the politicians, like we're not doing no events this year. I'm like, listen, we still got to do this type of stuff. We can't, people still out here living and stuff, so we got to still give back. So especially now because people are out of jobs, unemployment's running out. Just a bunch of stuff. We just did last week. We just gave a bunch of it was called a community baby shower. So we just gave away a lot of baby supplies.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was dope. Cool. So we're not gonna stop events, but the biggest hurdle that we had to deal with, we had to shut down our weekly events because they shut down the venue. So we had to put that on hold, and we was right in the middle of a process of picking up a grant. So we had to get through that process and try to deal with that.
You got
like one of the biggest hurdles.
Yeah, you got grant writers and stuff.
I kind of got like a nice little team that helped me out with different things. So there's a couple people that write grants on there.
And what weekly event were you talking about that you?
That's the mentoring program. So we meet up every Tuesday. Either a guest speaker come in or we have a workshop for them, and then we got kids cooking too, like a culinary arts program. So we had like a lot of things planned from February to August. So everything had to get postponed. So my program stops in the summertime. So it's like now just trying to figure out how school will play out.
And is this like a bunch of planning before the year starts, or like how's do these things come up organically and just, on the fly you guys put it together, or is this like a planned out thing?
I'm gonna be honest. I ain't the really type of guy that plan out stuff too good. I just go with the flow. So if something pop in my head or if somebody bring it to my attention, then we just gonna hop on it if it makes sense. And basically, like when it comes to like events, we just see like what people need at the time, and it's kind of seasonal. So whatever people need in seasonal, we gonna make it happen. We gonna give it back.
Nice. And for some of the, no, you good. Now for so you say you do things on the fly. What kind of marketing and how does that work with the logistics of things? Trying to get, like, is there ever a small turnout because it was just such short notice, or how you guys market that and get that word out?
Yeah, sometimes it do be short notice and last minute, and I feel like whoever came out was able to get some stuff, then we help somebody. So it's always a good turnout to me. But when we do have big turnouts, the marketing just come around, mainly social media. But the way that I used to proceed it back in the day when I first started was like door to door. Like we going door to door, handing people flyers. I used to spend a lot of money on marketing. I used to do a lot of groundwork because I always felt like if somebody, in a depressed stage or need help, it's usually hard for yourself to go get the help. Like, the block gives back having something. It's just hard to pick yourself up and get you there. So it's like, I'd rather go to the people, like, listen, you got to come here, we got some stuff. Or I drive around all day, see people with kids and be like, yo, come to this event, I'll get you a ride there. So it just be like a lot of footwork when it comes to that also, but mainly social media also.
Do you think, are you trying to get more organized, or you like doing things on the fly? I mean, it's completely up to you.
I am trying to get more organized, to be honest. I'm getting older. It's getting more like overwhelming. It's getting more busier. I got a team that I, finally got to put together, because finding like the right pieces to the puzzle, it'd be hard because everybody don't see your vision, or everybody, got other stuff. Yeah, got other stuff going on, because this not like a paying job. You know what I mean? There's a lot of volunteering. There's a lot of like, you doing this for free. Like, yeah, I ain't expecting a check.
When you grow up on just, I need to hustle, then you try to make money, and time is money. So
exactly, and I respect it too. So right now I'm at the point like, I just let things happen naturally. So if things don't work out, if we wasn't able to collab, that's cool. Like, there's no hard feelings. It's not meant to be. So right now I'm at the stage just letting everything happen naturally.
What were some of the conflicts you were having with that nonprofit you were working with, that you just kept experiencing to the point where you needed to move on?
Right. It's no hard feelings with them at all too, because it's just like I said, it's all part of the process. Everything happened for a reason, and I learned a lot from them, and they gave me the opportunity to do this type of work. So it was just about a conflict of interest of me working for them and starting, my own thing, starting Power Circle, and being able to, still do my job and still try to balance this and try to share all my resources, and they're sharing their resources. So it was just like a little bit of conflict of interest, I guess, in the political world, if you want to call it that. But that's about it, really.
What are some of the main problems that your organization's trying to tackle? Because I mean, you do all these drives, coat drives. I love the community baby shower is dope.
Appreciate
it.
But
what are some of the biggest problems that you see that made you actually want to get involved and really dedicate the time to focus on?
Right. So just being in different like coalitions. So like if I'm in like a school coalition, I know what's going on in the schools. If I'm in a community coalition with different community partners, such as like, Turning Points, I work with them a lot. Like they like my sidekick. We do a lot of stuff together all the time. If I'm doing something, they hop on it. If they doing something, I hop on it, vice versa. So just like being able to know in their fields, like if Turning Point's dealing with a lot of little kids, and the schools that I'm in the coalitions with dealing with like teenagers, then I know what problems is out there. Then I'm also like still in the streets. I'm still outside. I'm still around. I still keep in touch with all my young kids and stuff. So I know I kind of be tuned in on what's going on, and we just go from there, I guess.
Is it hard to get these kids to open up and talk to them because I know when I was in high school I was a hothead. You couldn't tell me nothing.
They hard headed, but it's not hard to talk to them. Like